in case you know computers, in case you heard of spiritual warfare, in case you heard of people being possessed, if you heard of demonic forces, if these things make sense to you, I'll help you connect some dots. I don't claim that I know stuff. I'll give you just a perspective. Computer software and computer ports. How a virus gets into your computer through an open port, or by the user allowing a program to run in that computer, in that machine. So the user presses a button, presses a link, opens a file, and that way allows the virus to install into that system. So that's a user ignorance, user stupidity, user maybe malicious intent, like when a worker intentionally or purposefully open a link or a page or a software into the company computer, and that way it's installing a virus into the machine. What this one has anything to do with the demons? If I look at the world and the great inventions and how the world evolved, I see a bunch of inventions copied from the nature. Also, a bunch of stuff is being copied from the God's world, the spiritual world, the energy world. Lots of things were brought from the future here. It doesn't make sense to you, I know. Great visionaries, they brought or downloaded information, like maybe great inventions, maybe the 10 Commandments, maybe the Word of God. All these things were downloaded by the people, or let's say the souls, or the energy beings. We are all energy anyway. So those energy beings or those people downloaded certain data and applied to the so-called material world, the virtual world we all live in. We experience as a material world because like I mentioned in the past and other people mentioned in the past, this is a programmed world. You are programmed to feel through the 5 senses that you live into a more of a solid type of material world. Computers were invented by people who also connected to this realm where you can get data. Steve Jobs is supposedly he was able to access some of that type of information, and other great inventors like Nikola Tesla. I don't know if Nikola Tesla admitted publicly that he was able to access another realm to get his inventions, but when I look at his day and age, and when I look at what he discovered, I thought, "Ooh, that's crazy." He went into the future, and he got stuff like Leonardo da Vinci and other great minds. So they brought systems to humans before their times. Before the humans were ready. The humans did not have the prerequisites to understand or to even apply those ideas. If I look at, let's say, one of the well-known people here, Elon Musk, I don't think he brought anything new to the humanity. So he just take the existing stuff, package it together into some rocket, into a big program, and he wants to send people to the moon or to the Mars. So it's nothing special and totally new here, like when Apple came on the market with the Macintosh and other stuff. You know, so nothing is like extraordinary. You can do the same thing. You can dress up your body with a different type of layers of clothing, and you can appear like something weird, right? But all those clothings all those clothes were, or you can find at the market. You just have to make a weird combination. It's nothing new. So your body is the same, the clothes are the same, the shoes are the same. You can find somewhere. So you did not create something new. You just combine stuff. Same thing with this Elon Musk program. He wants to fly to Mars, like many other visionary try. But now it happened that we have the prerequisites. But when Nikola Tesla was around, there was not such a thing like an electric motor, not such a thing like an alternating current, or other of his great inventions, right? So he brought stuff from somewhere. I gave my explanation into a past video, how these people connect and channel data. Some people call this one download, and I do receive stuff from another place. That's different topic. The computers, that's my point here. The computers were brought here, the invention of the computer were brought here by visionaries who were able to tap into that data field. And the computers, as we know, if we know some computers, have ports that are responsible for traffic of data for certain type of features. Like, let's say you have port number 80, that's for the web browsing, right? So that's a traffic meant for this type of application, to browse the web, www. If you have port maybe 9000, that could be printing port. I don't memorize these things. If you have port 25, you have SMTP or something related to some other internet traffic, email or mail or stuff like that. We name these ports according to human language, so we can kind of manage the information. We can teach people how to use things, and it has to make sense. It has to make sense to technical people, to users, to troubleshooting people. In a spiritual world, or even in a human thinking, we have open ports and closed ports that allow us to access different realms. So some people are able to access some data regarding future inventions. So that's a port. It's a data port between our mind and this realm. Other people open a port to allow information regarding witchcraft. Other people allow a port to receive and broadcast love. But we name those in a human terms based on our emotions, based on our knowledge and what we do with that information. We don't name love, let's say port 6300 something, emotional transfer of complex data or something. No, we name those emotional love because we understand that. We don't compare ourselves with biological machines, with computers. Some people compare us to some machines, but they don't go past that. They don't get into connecting the dots with another human knowledge. Now I have to go back to work, but I'll give you some sort of stuff to think about. And you connect the dots, so I'll let you connect the dots. You have Jesus um, leading people, and leading people with love, and talking about love, connecting people to God, or trying to inspire people to connect to God, which is the source of love. And for that, people have to be open. If people are living in fear, they open another port. They open another port and allow different information to come into their minds. Of course, people can have multiple ports, open and closed, but once the virus is installed in a person's mind, let's say a demon is installed in a person's mind, the demon is controlling the person's thoughts and decisions. And now the person is going to close the port, the open port for love. Let's say if the person never had an open port for love as a kid, because the parents did not show the kid how to open that port, the kid will have open port, will have a closed port for the love, but he might have an open port. Why? Because the kid wants to communicate with outside anyway. So the kid is like a computer and want to connect to the network. And the kid will look for information to exchange some data and feed some emotions, internal needs. Not only seeking food to feed the machine, but also feed certain emotional needs that are implanted into the genetics. And generally is love. And not knowing which port to open, because the kid was never taught of opening which port to open and how to open that port, what the emotion we need to select in order to open that port. People don't understand that. People just show, okay, I'll give you some hugs, I'll do this and that, I'll kiss you good night, I'll tell you a story, I don't know, I'll tell you I love you. So those are the key words and actions of people to teach love, to show these kids how to open that port for love, to connect and get more of it. So traffic data between people and people with the same vibe. You can't really connect your computer which has open port for love to another computer who has a closed port for love but has open port for hate. You can't connect the two. They will not talk well. They may talk because they have other ports open, which could be verbal communication. Verbal communication is another port, exchange of data, but that's it. So they will talk to each other, but they don't really connect for the love aspect. And they can do things together. Let's say people at work, they have open ports for the communication, and they may have open ports for creativity or stuff. But the port for love, it's on different vibe. So they don't really go at work with an open port. So when they get to the office, they close the port because, or they may have another similar port for self-love. But the thing is, in many large corporations, these ports are closed. People don't really love each other. People don't really love themselves, and people are getting programmed how to close the self-love port, right? So when people go to work, they don't really like each other, they don't love each other. They just open ports that are functional for that workplace, like how to do work, how to be on time. On time, it's another program, to be on time. And so people have only certain ports open, like a computer. You close this port. But how you do that? By running a program. And now I want to connect with another dot. So you are a machine, or a biological intelligent machine with a human body, with a hardware, piece of hardware, and you were not taught by your parents to open the port for love or for self-love. And you are not programmed as a user of that machine how to open that port. You don't know you have this open port. It's like you have another set of balls, like another pair of testicles, but you can't see. Nobody tells you that unless you take a mirror and you look somewhere under your butt and you see, oh, I have another testicle coming out of my butt or something. Oh, what can I do with this testicle? And you never notice, because when you sit, you don't hurt. It's a tiny one or something. Or maybe you have two. And do I sound gross? No? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, they sell mushrooms, like poisonous mushrooms here at the next door restaurant, and I went to get a hamburger, and I feel talking stupid, right? Anyway, just kidding. So you are not aware that you have this love port, and because you never felt how it feels when you transfer the data love between you and another person who have the similar open port. So if you never experienced that, you are not interested to seek with those ports, the gazillions of ports that you have and you can open for your body, to expand your knowledge, to expand your spiritual growth, to expand who you are, to become greater. Yeah, so you have so many closed ports, and you die with closed ports because you don't know. Nobody teaches you, unless you go to some sort of a guru or spiritual training, or you only get training to become better machine, to help the company you work for, or to become better for your kids or for your family. But for yourself, right, you have so many closed ports and you don't know about it. I mean, you have, let's say, you learn a new language, you open a port and you start communicating with different port on different language with different people. Yeah, okay, that's cool, you grew, you got better, but how about self-love? Do you know how to discover that thing? No. And coming back to connect few dots. In a corporate environment, like in a big corporation, they want to make sure they open the fear port. Why? Because it's easier to control you. And once they set up some programs through company policies, they call it differently, company policy, you know what? Yeah, if you show up late, 3 times you get fired, right? It's a company policy. And it's part of the injecting fear program and virusing you with that company policy to make you act the way they want, not the way you feel. And you go for it because it serves your needs, it serves your survival needs, right? That's why most people are still slaves. And now you got the same idea with a politician. So if I try to connect the dots with Jesus, so Jesus was trying to open people ports. Jesus was another big program, a very complex program, complex than most of everyone. I never heard of such a wise and capable person. Maybe it's glorified by the Bible, I don't know, but to me it's like of course there are smart people on the planet, wise people on the planet, they are healers, they are special people, talented people, but to combine all these things into one person is, I don't know, maybe. I'm not a Jesus follower or anything like that. I'm just trying to be impartial. But this guy has a bunch of open ports. It's like he was open to everything, to understand people. I don't know. It was weird to think such a biological machine or such a creature to be open to so many things. And of course, tapping into the future, tapping into people vibe and thoughts and aura, and recognizing people's needs and stuff. So he was trying to unite people through love. So he was trying to open other people's ports for love. and connection to God, right? That was his message. And people who felt the love, who had the love and open port, you were able to talk to the same emotional language. But a majority of people on earth are here to go through some journey, karmic journey, to pay some stuff they've done in the past or whatever, and it's a lot of suffering, a lot of survival stuff. And those people have the fear port open. And guess what? The information coming from people injecting fear is able to transfer to their mind. And when they open the fear port, also the demonic forces from outside, let's say spiritual hackers and entities like that, are able to transfer data. And transferring data while this person have an open port, it allows this external entity like an intelligent demon or stuff to inject viruses like other demons or parasites, programs that are able to control this person's mind. And this person, once is infected with this type of demonic data or information, the person can be controlled remotely. The way people got controlled remotely and got vaccinated, blindfolded, like fear. And I'm going to explain you how it did work, and still works. If you got vaccinated, I don't blame you. I don't blame you, and I don't point fingers. Probably you had a good reason. Probably you believed in vaccines, and that's fine. Probably you had someone older in the house, and you saw the benefits. You knew the disadvantages, and you saw the benefits, or the benefits of keeping your job. That's fair. You know, everyone thinks of how to preserve life, including feeding the family, feeding the body. It's part of the big program. But these politicians we have here, except the Queen, I heard the Queen's speech when she was instated on the throne, long time ago, in 50s or something, like 70 years ago. Yeah, 70 years ago. She was saying about love. And I thought, whoa, that's interesting. A leader talking about love, uniting people through love. While other politicians, what they do, how the politicians get elected? Let me tell you how, because you know, but I'll just remind you. They go for human emotions of survival. They say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to get you out of poverty. I'm going to help you with more money, with this and that. We'll create more programs for healthcare or something. So they touch this sensitive chord, the sensitive emotion about people's survival. So they go at people needs, the people needs related to survival, nothing related to love. I never heard of one of politicians saying, you know what, we'll promote love, we'll open classes in schools, how to teach kids love, we'll go to prisons, we'll have counselors trained specifically to teach love. No, there's no such a thing. We'll teach people who do drugs to reduce the drug overdose problem. We'll teach people how to love themselves and how to be loved, how to receive love. Those people who don't know what love is, right? So the ones who keep seeking and get drugs and die. I never heard of such a thing, such a leader, even at the local level, say, you know what, someone running for the mayor. You know what, let's do that, let's invest in love. Love is not making money. So that's a big difference between Jesus and similar type of leaders and the regular politicians. And regular politicians, they are always going to the agenda of those who want to control. At first they are nice and sweet and they promise and they feed people emotional needs, like yeah, this guy. I'm having problem not finding work, or I'm having this problem and that problem. So but he will resolve all my problems. So people focus on problem, and guess what? When you focus on problem, you will get more, because you put your mind on problems, and also you delegate problems to other people, and you think these politicians will fix your problem related to survival. But how about your problem related to loving yourself? Have you thought of that? Who's going to fix that problem? You should go to check out some churches, some Jesus guy, or some, I don't know, spiritual leaders who promote love, or God. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. But that's the thing you need. You need to learn how to open the port for love. So now these politicians came here and being controlled from the top, from another puppeteers who named these politicians, making you believe that you voted for them. Or maybe you voted for those guys, but you had only 3 choices or 2 choices. I vote for this or for that. Out of 2 bad guys, which is the least bad? Right? And they got voted in, and they all follow the same doctrine that is being established in advance by these puppeteers. And so people need to be controlled, right? If you have separate groups of people following different ideology, how you control those? It's very difficult. If you have, let's say, 10,000 political parties, how you control those people? No, it's very difficult. So you need to unite them under the same type of keyword. And you can control them easy. One way, President Bush, many years ago, 20 years ago, something like that, united people through fear, was to come up with this concept that we need to fight the terror. So he used the keyword terror and terrorist to unite people, because he made people to fear, right? So the first thing, they had to open the port to fear, and they used certain type of ideology and keywords, and the war on terror was the little expression that was used as a keyword to trigger people emotions into being together, like we are all in this together, right? Do you know this phrase? We are all in it together, or all in this together. This is another small sentence being used to unite people, but it united people in fear, did not unite people in love. I never heard of these people saying about COVID, you know what, let's love each other, because if you love each other, guess what? You get sick. Yeah. So stupid. So if you love each other, that means you gather, right? You gather with other people and you get sick, you get COVID. So it touches the survival mechanism. And guess what? You live in fear. So they cannot tell you, like the people in the church, they cannot tell you, let's love each other. So they were very sneaky, avoiding people love and connection. So maintaining those love ports closed. So they programmed you to open the ports for fear. And they united you in fear. So we are all in this together, which was a keyword that it's easy to use, and it sounds very catchy, right? Sounds very catchy. And with those keywords, you can have a mass of people all with open ports for fear. You can have them singing in unison, like singing all the same thought, right? So when every person live the same type of vibe and emotion related to survival, guess what? You can move them around, you can control them. The same thing they do with the soldiers. So they have a doctrine, they inject the soldiers with a doctrine, yeah, you need to fight for the country, you are a patriot. All these bullshit sentences that are catchy, and the soldiers, and they attach this one to certain emotions the soldiers already have. Soldiers want to go to kill, and kill some who. You have to make an enemy, otherwise the soldiers have nothing to do, right? They get bored, and since they are full of hormones, that's why they get crazy. Since they are full of hormones, they want to kill something, and you can't keep the soldiers doing nothing, just training for what? You just waste money. So you have to train those soldiers and have to use those soldiers to kill something, and something that makes money for the economy. So everyone is happy. Soldiers get happy, kill something, get busy, the war machine get money, the economy keeps going. You know where I'm going, right? So you need to know, in order to move this machine of millions of people, you need to know human psychology. And guess what? They have psychologists they deal with. So the politicians are not that smart to come up with all these things, right? You won't find a politician that smart to come up with this type of very sophisticated plan. Now, I just told you how they were able to control the masses to vaccinate, like in some countries 90-something% through fear. So forced vaccination, mandatory vaccination, but also lots of people were willing to go to the slaughterhouse or to the vaccination place to get vaccinated because they had this switch. And guess what? Once you have this open port allowing fear, you can be controlled. And now the demonic forces that use this open port fear, the demonic forces are able to inject thoughts. We call it thoughts, but actually are programs. So each thought is a program. I have other videos related to how, let's say, this pair of glasses are actually energy programs. Programmed by designers, by engineers, with even the words regarding glasses. Glasses, it's a program, right? So if you know a bit of a computer programming, probably you understand what I'm saying. So these thoughts or the programs can be viruses, can be destructive, constructive. So the demonic forces, the spiritual hackers from outside of our realm, can inject destructive forces through these open ports with fear.